Your father left this for you, and you alone.
In the opening scene, we are introduced to Lauren Monroe, a 30-year-old Manhattan district attorney. Dedicated to her role, Lauren's deep belief in the justice system is evident when she refuses a $1 million bribe to defend a criminal in court. This moment highlights her unwavering commitment to protecting the innocent, prioritizing principles over monetary gain. The focus then shifts to her younger brother, William Monroe, a politician campaigning for re-election as he aims to secure the position of mayor of New York City. Next, we meet their father, Archer Monroe, the influential patriarch of a wealthy and powerful political dynasty in New York. While walking in the family garden, Archer suddenly experiences difficulty breathing. Struggling to get into his car to call for help, he collapses and tragically passes away. Shortly after, Lauren, who is in the middle of giving press interviews, is blindsided by a journalist breaking the news of her father's death. The scene transitions to Archer's funeral, where Lauren, her husband Scott, daughter Claire, mother Catherine, and brother William gather to honor his memory. As family and friends pay their final respects and begin to leave, Lauren and William share a brief conversation. William struggles to accept that a heart attack caused their father's death, insisting that Archer was in far better health than either of them. A week later, the family attorney, Harold Thulis, reads Archer's will at their farmhouse residence. According to the will, Catherine, Archer's wife, is named the new CEO of the family company. William receives an inheritance of $20 million, while Lauren is unexpectedly left with only $1 million. The remaining $50 million are allocated to be divided equally among the police and medical schools. After the reading, Harold privately approaches Lauren and hands her a package, explaining that Archer left it specifically for her. Inside, she finds a USB drive and a pair of keys. Curious, Lauren connects the drive to her computer and discovers a posthumous video message from her late father. In the video, Archer reveals that he has a deeply buried secret, one he regrets not sharing during his lifetime. He urges Lauren to keep the secret with her until her last breath, and provides instructions to locate a hidden underground bunker on the family property. In the next scene, a stunned Lauren decides to venture into the woods to uncover the hidden truth her father alluded to. Just as she is about to leave, her husband, Scott, follows her, expressing concern for her well-being, which seems tied to the recent inheritance. Reassuring him that she's fine and simply needs some time alone, Lauren proceeds, focusing entirely on the mystery surrounding the bunker. As Lauren makes her way through the woods, memories of her childhood flood her mind. Eventually, she stumbles upon a locked surface resembling an entrance. Using the key from the package, she unlocks the padlock, revealing a concealed set of stairs leading down into a basement. Determined yet apprehensive, Lauren descends into the dark, eerie bunker, her heart racing with both fear and curiosity. Inside, she encounters another locked iron door. When she opens it, she is shocked to find a captive man restrained with a heavy iron neck collar. Gathering her courage, Lauren cautiously approaches him to assess the situation. However, his sudden and startling movement sends her into a panic, and she flees the bunker in terror. Lauren runs back through the woods, taking a moment to regain her composure before returning to the house. Once home, visibly shaken by what she has just witnessed, she debates whether to call 911. Before she can make the call, her brother William intervenes, sensing her distress. He expresses sympathy over the unequal distribution of their father's wealth and even offers to share his inheritance with her. However, Lauren firmly declines, making it clear that money is not her priority. Still troubled, Lauren approaches her grieving mother, Catherine, seeking answers about any potential enemies her father might have had. Catherine, fully aware of Archer's morally questionable past, assumes responsibility for his legacy, stating that she will carry the burden alone to shield the family from further turmoil. Later that evening, Lauren finds herself in her late father's office, casually sorting through his belongings. As she rummages, a childhood photograph of herself with her father catches her eye, triggering a wave of memories. She reflects on a past argument with Archer, recalling how he once pressured her to represent one of his wealthy friends in court. However, Lauren had firmly refused, unwilling to compromise her principles by defending a known criminal. The next morning, Lauren retrieves a gun from her father's drawer and revisits the bunker. As she silently enters the chamber, she finds the man asleep, and discreetly collects a sample of his fingerprints to identify him. However, the man suddenly opens his eyes, and fearing she might have revealed her identity, Lauren hastily retreats. Later, she returns wearing a face mask and armed with the gun, demanding the man reveal his identity. To her surprise, he knows extensive details about Lauren and her family, including her birthday, her brother's name, and even her marriage against her father's wishes. He accuses her of advocating for the innocent to ease her guilt over being born into wealth. Shocked by how much the stranger knows, Lauren removes her mask and presses him for answers. Instead of responding directly, the man asks about her father. When Lauren hesitates, he deduces that Archer is dead and bursts into laughter, mocking her. He then reveals that Archer left him to her as part of her inheritance. The man questions if Lauren considers herself a good person and, when she affirms, urges her to release him, arguing that is what a good person would do. Lauren remains skeptical, suspecting he committed a serious crime to justify his captivity. Attempting to understand the situation, she questions him further, but he instead makes a list of demands: a luxurious meal including steak, chocolates, a packet of cigarettes, a newspaper, and a 30-year-old bottle of scotch. He reveals he has been imprisoned for 30 years and, as a final request, asks for a shave. Though Lauren threatens to leave him confined indefinitely, the man taunts her, confident her conscience won't allow it. Realizing he has the upper hand, Lauren reluctantly agrees to his demands and hands him a razor before leaving. Upon returning home, Lauren scans the fingerprints and sends them to her family friend, Detective Emilio Sanchez, requesting him to run an urgent check. She then heads into the city to purchase all the items the man had requested, hoping this gesture will prompt him to reveal the truth. With a basket full of items, Lauren returns to the bunker. Overwhelmed by the sight of such luxurious food after years of confinement, the man begins eating with tears of joy. Gradually, he opens up, mentioning that Archer used to take annual photos of him and keep them in a cigar box. Lauren collects the photos, hoping they might aid in her investigation. After finishing the meal, the man finally reveals his identity as Morgan Warner. At one point, he grabs Lauren's hand, overcome with sorrow, but quickly apologizes, explaining it has been years since he's had any human contact. Morgan then begins sharing his story, revealing how he first met Archer 30 years ago. They quickly became friends, bonding over shared vices such as gambling, money, and women. Their friendship soon evolved into a business partnership, with Morgan providing Archer the edge he needed to dominate in both business and politics, ultimately helping him build his empire. Morgan explains that everything was going well until one fateful night when, while driving drunk, they accidentally hit and killed a pedestrian. Morgan wanted to report the incident to the police, but Archer refused, fearing the implications since it was his car involved. Archer insisted they bury the body in the woods to cover up the crime. When they later argued about it, Archer imprisoned Morgan in the bunker to prevent him from revealing the truth, fearing the exposure would destroy his wealth and reputation. Morgan insists the incident was an accident and claims he would have stayed silent, if only Archer had freed him from this misery. Lauren, however, remains skeptical, doubting the truth of his story. To convince her, Morgan discloses Archer's affair with a woman named Sophia, whom he referred to as his Gypsy Rose because she possessed qualities which Catherine lacked. Despite these revelations, Lauren still finds it hard to trust him. To back up his claims, Morgan provides Sophia's address and urges Lauren to verify his story. He also suggests she confirm the details with Harold, Archer's longtime confidant. Enraged and unable to process the shocking revelations about her father's long-hidden secret, Lauren storms out of the bunker. Despite her turmoil, she somehow maintains a veneer of composure. She contacts Emilio, instructing him to investigate the background of a man named Morgan Warner, and deliver the findings to their summer house. Following Morgan's clues, Lauren tracks down Archer's longtime mistress, Sophia. During their conversation, Sophia shares that she met Archer years ago at a poker game, which marked the beginning of their long-term relationship. While they talk, Lauren notices a photograph of a young boy and asks about him. Sophia reveals a shocking truth: the boy, Alex, is her son, and Lauren's half-brother. Staggered by this revelation, Lauren leaves in tears, overwhelmed by the ever-growing web of her father's dark secrets. It remains unclear whether these unsettling truths are entirely his doing, or if Morgan has even more to confess. Later, an enraged Lauren confronts Harold in his office, unleashing her frustration over his decision to keep such a significant secret from the family. Harold defends his actions, stating that it is his duty to uphold confidentiality. When Lauren demands to know if there are any other hidden truths, Harold assures her there is nothing that could harm her or the Monroe family. However, he insists on keeping the remaining information concealed and advises her to let the matter rest. Determined to uncover the truth, Lauren visits her mother and asks if she recognizes the name Morgan Warner. To her disappointment, the name means nothing to her mother, who claims no knowledge of it. Their conversation is interrupted when William arrives, visibly stressed. When Lauren questions him, he confesses that he is losing ground in the polls despite his best efforts. Desperate to turn things around, William urges Lauren to join the campaign rally, emphasizing her reputation for honesty as a valuable asset. Though hesitant, Lauren reluctantly agrees to help. With the Monroe family's reputation on the line, Lauren revisits the bunker, determined to uncover the truth and confront the grim reality once and for all. Morgan reveals that Archer had confided in him for years, treating him as a confessor for his darkest secrets. Seizing the opportunity, Lauren asks about the pedestrian's body her father allegedly buried, a secret only Morgan could verify. Morgan proposes a deal: he will lead her to the burial site, but only if she grants him his freedom afterward. Reluctant but desperate for answers, Lauren agrees. Under the constant threat of her gun, she removes Morgan's neck collar, and together they venture outside. Overwhelmed with emotion, Morgan savors his first breath of fresh air after nearly 30 years in captivity, still processing the reality of his newfound freedom. In the cover of night, they drive toward the woods, following Morgan's directions. After some time, they arrive at the burial site. Lauren begins digging while Morgan stays close, awaiting the moment of truth. Her worst fears are confirmed when she unearths a human skull, providing undeniable proof of Morgan's claims. Shaken and overwhelmed, Lauren quickly reburies the remains and, without a word, drives them back to the bunker, her mind reeling from the revelation. Once back in the bunker, Lauren instructs Morgan to put his metal collar back on. Desperate, Morgan pleads with her not to betray him, insisting on his innocence. Lauren hesitates, explaining that she needs more time and concrete proof to determine the truth, as her family's reputation hangs in the balance. Feeling betrayed, Morgan breaks down, imploring her to allow him to live out his remaining years in peace. He vows to disappear from their lives without causing any harm, begging for her trust. Despite his heartfelt pleas, Lauren, unsure of what to believe, offers a quiet apology and leaves. At home, she contacts Detective Emilio to check if he has uncovered any information about Morgan Warner. Emilio informs her that the investigation is ongoing, and may take a few more days. The next day, Lauren visits her brother William's office, seeking advice under the pretense of discussing her court case. She poses a hypothetical question, asking what he would do if someone held dangerous secrets, and posed a significant threat to the family. In response, William presents two options: either dispose of the individual by dumping their body in a river or pay them to disappear forever. After weighing her options, Lauren returns to the bunker with a bag, and makes Morgan promise that he will vanish completely. Once he agrees, she instructs him to prepare for his departure, assuring him that he will be freed that night. Following this, Lauren meets with Harold and orders him to set up an offshore bank account, and arrange a private jet for the person her father had wronged. Despite Harold's curiosity and questions about her motives, Lauren keeps the details to herself. Later, Morgan finally leaves the bunker, taking a piece of chess as a memento. Outside the bunker, he breathes in the fresh air, and is overwhelmed by a sense of freedom. Lauren escorts him to the private jet, where Harold provides Morgan with new identification documents, and briefs him on his account funds. As the jet takes off with Harold and Morgan aboard, Lauren drives back to the bunker to clean up. While cleaning, she discovers a syringe and a bottle of poison hidden beneath the bed. However, she dismisses it, believing that everything is finally over and her family is safe once again. Meanwhile, Emilio matches fingerprints from Morgan's file and delivers it to Lauren's house, potentially unraveling even more secrets. In the evening, Catherine arrives home and opens the package. Moments later, Lauren enters and notices her mother examining its contents. With a look of fear, Catherine confronts Lauren, asking why she has a picture of Carson Thomas. Shocked but composed, Lauren clarifies that his real name is Morgan and admits the truth: their father had kept Morgan confined in the bunker for decades. In response, Catherine makes a startling revelation, labeling Morgan an evil man and demanding to know his current whereabouts. Alarmed, Lauren rushes to the airport, only to discover that Morgan's flight never departed, and Harold has been murdered. Horrified, she quickly realizes that Morgan is now targeting her mother. Returning to the Monroe house, Lauren finds Catherine missing and learns that Morgan has abducted her and taken her to the bunker. Terrified, Lauren races to the bunker, where she discovers her mother lying unconscious. As she checks on Catherine, Morgan emerges from the shadows and plunges the room into darkness by switching off the lights. Taking advantage of the chaos, he attacks Lauren and ties her up. When Lauren regains consciousness, Morgan begins to reveal the truth. He explains that Archer had recently planned to kill him with poison, but Morgan turned the tables, using the poison to murder Archer instead. He then recounts events from 30 years ago. Morgan admits to drugging and assaulting Catherine, an act that Archer witnessed. Furious, Archer attempted to take Morgan somewhere to kill him. However, during the drive, Morgan distracted Archer, leading to an accident in which a pedestrian was fatally struck. Morgan confesses that he was the one who ultimately killed and buried the pedestrian, despite Archer's objections. When Archer threatened to expose Morgan's crimes, Morgan retaliated by attempting to pin the entire incident on him. In response, Archer physically subdued Morgan and confined him to the bunker, ensuring he would no longer pose a threat to anyone. Hearing Morgan's revelations, Lauren desperately tries to reason with him, promising to help him seek justice for the wrongs her family inflicted upon him over the years. However, Morgan dismisses her offer, declaring that all he seeks is revenge. He reveals his intent to make the Monroe family suffer the same torment he endured during his 3 decades of confinement. In a shocking twist, Morgan drops a bombshell: he is Lauren's biological father. Stunned and reeling from the revelation, Lauren struggles to process the truth. As tension escalates, Catherine regains consciousness, seizes the moment, and she shoots Morgan in the head, killing him instantly. In the film's final moments, Lauren and Catherine douse the bunker in gasoline and set it ablaze. The fire consumes everything, erasing all evidence of Morgan's captivity and the dark secrets of the Monroe family.